Just 4 weeks ago, one of these young ladies smuggled her grandmother out of communist East Germany. What is your name, please?
My name is Evelyn Grimes.
My name is Evelyn Grimes.
My name is Evelyn Grimes.
Only one of these young ladies is the real Evelyn Grimes. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Toni Gilman, Johnny Carson, and Betty White on To Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Salem Cigarettes. Toni Gilman, what can I say, except it was awfully nice of you to give up Chicago theater and television and let those fans go hungry and bring your charms to us tonight.
It was very nice of you to ask me. Thank you, Bud.
Welcome to our show. Have fun. All right, panel, will you open up your envelopes and take out the affidavit cards for the first time and follow along as I read from this one. I, Evelyn Grimes, used to live in East Germany. Years ago, my American stepfather smuggled me across the Iron Curtain to this country. Last month, we decided to try to smuggle my grandmother out of communist hands. We went to Berlin and rented a car. With me wearing 2 dresses, we drove across the border. We put one of my dresses on grandmother, and with some makeup, we gave her the appearance of a Western tourist. Grandmother sat in the rear seat with forged identity papers. We were stopped at the communist checkpoint. I chatted gaily with the guards and gave them my very best smile, hoping they wouldn't inspect Grandma too closely. After a few tense moments, the guards waved us on into West Berlin and freedom. Signed, Evelyn Grimes. Panel, here we have 3 young ladies. As you heard, each one claims to be Evelyn Grimes, who recently smuggled her grandmother from East Germany into West Germany. Smuggled would be wrong, wouldn't it, eh? You don't smuggle, you smuggle. All right, so look them all over and make your own decisions. We'll start this first round of questioning with Tom Poston. Tom?
Well, thank you, Bud. Number 1, Mr. Grimes, why do the people want to leave from East Germany?
Because of the communists.
Number 2, would you go on a little farther? Why do they want to leave the the Soviet-dominated part of Europe?
Well, for many, many reasons, but most of all because, first of all, it's not a free country. It's very, very depressing, I think, to live there because there's nothing doing, I mean.
I'd like to ask, thank you. Number 3, Miss Grimes, why do the Russians want them to stay? If they want to leave, why don't they just let them go?
Because they need people to keep up they call the communist spirit, and they need people there. And if these people get out from communist Berlin, they may tell the free world what actually goes on behind the Iron Curtain, and they don't like it.
Toni.
Thank you.
Could you tell me the name, let me see, number 1, the name of the famous gate in Berlin?
Brandenburg Gate.
And number 2, could you tell me the name of the main street in Berlin?
Well, there's several. Which one?
Well, like we have Broadway in New York.
Well, there's one called Kurfürstendamm.
Yes. Where is Wilhelmstrasse?
I couldn't describe
Is it
exactly
in East or West Germany?
I don't know.
Oh. Number 3, would you tell me what branch of the government helped you get out?
Well, really, no branch of the government helped me get out.
Was this an underground that helped you?
No, I think it was more or less an idea my father and I had to.
Thank you.
Johnny.
Number 1, was Jack Parr in on this?
No.
I know that. I know he wasn't, but he thinks they're going, he could have been.
He was the grandmother.
Yes.
He was the one that was smuggled across.
This is extremely interesting. Number 2, what would you have done if this plot would have backfired, if they would have looked grandmother over a little closely?
I'd be sending postcards from Siberia now or something.
Postcards from Siberia? Number 3, did you have something that you were planning to do if you were caught? What did you plan to do?
Well, the only thing we couldn't have given any really excuses because we would have been caught trying to smuggle her across, and we just would have had to face facts.
Number one, who's the...
Betty.
That's how I stop right there.
Number one, who's the who? Number one, where did your grandmother live in East Germany?
Strasbourg.
And number two, how far behind the East German line is Strasbourg?
Well, I don't know what you mean by East German line. From Berlin, it's about an hour's time by train, I would say.
And number three, do you agree with that?
About an hour's ride by train, or about 100 miles.
And number one, did you have any trouble getting into East Germany when you rented the car?
No, none at all.
Is this... That's like...
Betty, getting in is easy. Getting out is the tough part of it. And the time is gone, the walrus said, to talk of anything. As a matter of fact, I want you to mark your ballots, if you will, please, now. And without any consultation whatsoever. Please mark them for number 1, number 2, or number 3.
Oh, boy.
Our team of challengers will, as usual, receive $250 for every incorrect vote. How are we doing? All ballots marked?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm usually the
All
last
set?
one.
Okay, Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 1. Did I make a mistake? Watch to tell the truth and find out if panelists... I thought it was number 1 because there was a quiet, calm assurance in her manner. And it seems to me that it'd take a lot of nerve to do a thing like that. Either that or she loves her grandmother very much.
Toni Gilman, your vote, please.
I, too, voted for number 1 because I felt that the pronunciation of Brandenburg Gate sounded very authentic to me.
Johnny, which one did you think is the real one?
I really don't know. I think it took great presence of mind, though, to rent a car. In case you get caught, at least you don't lose your car. You must have... I voted for number 2. She seemed to be more emotionally involved with the story.
Okay, Betty.
I switched horses in midstream again this time. I picked number 2 when she was standing right up at the top of the stairs, and then at the very last minute, I switched to number 3, because I think if years ago she was smuggled out of Germany, she probably would not have a German accent. And also the Wilhelmstrasse question threw me a little out of number 2. So I vote for number 3, and it's my own fault.
All right, there we have it. 1, 1, 2, and 3 in that order. And we'll find out just exactly whether you stand or fall successfully with your votes right now as we learn which one of these ladies did just return from East Germany. The Will the Real, Evelyn Grimes. Please stand up. Well, we're proud to know you, young lady, and have you on the show. Bless you for what you did, and I hope it means years of happiness to you and your nice family. It's a wonderful thing. That'll learn you not to change horses in the middle of the Brandenburg Gate.
Every time I've picked anybody from up there, I've been wrong for weeks and weeks and weeks, and this time I thought I'm not going to get hooked on that first opinion.
Well, there you are. Let's find out about these other 2 charming young misses. Number 1, would you tell us your real name? You've got the greatest number of votes, and what you really do, please.
My name is Tanina God. I come from Israel, and I'm a jazz trumpet player and singer.
You know, she doesn't go get her, she sends her grandmother.
Number 3, your real name, please, and what you do.
Pamela Russamano, and I'm a student at White Plains High School, and I've never been farther than Florida.
That accent she put on, we should ask her whether it's East Florida or West Florida, but we won't. We check the score now and find that, very fortunately for you three very pretty young ladies, there are 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes at $250 each, bringing you a total of $750. And I hope that you realize that you brought us a great deal of pleasure. Thanks for being with us. Good night, and good luck to you. Now may I present our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ward Newcomb.
My name is Ward Newcomb.
My name is Ward Newcomb.
Follow along once again, panel, if you will, please, with your copies of this affidavit. I, Ward Newcomb, am a dental surgeon. 3 years ago, a cattle owner came to me with an old problem. His breeding cows were dying at an early age because of worn-down teeth. I devised something which has created a minor revolution in the cattle industry. I am the inventor of false teeth for cows. Signed, Dr. Ward Newcomb. Three gentlemen this time, panel, with an interesting story to tell, each one claiming to be Dr. Ward Newcomb, inventor of false teeth for cows. We will begin this round of questioning, with no ulterior motive, with Betty White. Betty?
Thank you, I think. Number one, how do you fasten the false teeth into the cow's mouth?
Well, the crowns are snapped over, and they have a cement underneath them.
Almost like a cap.
Yes,
like,
ma'am.
like a tooth cap. Number two, you are a regular people dentist, however, normally,
That's right.
are you not?
Yes.
People dentist.
How many, for regular people, how many different, is there a different number of teeth in a cow's mouth?
No, the same number.
As in a human's
32 teeth.
mouth? Number three, was this the first time you've done any work with animals at all?
Yes, this was the first time I had anything to do with animals, as far as dentistry is concerned.
Number two, why would worn-down teeth...
Tom, why would worn-down teeth?
I wish I knew the answer to that. Listen, fellas, when you put false teeth in the cows, aren't you afraid of getting false milk or something? How do you know? Why don't you just give them softer food? Number one, what is the process known as equilibration?
That would be balancing the occlusion.
Thank you. Number two, you know anything about pulling wisdom teeth?
Not very much, because I don't do any extraction work.
Well, number three, do you?
A little, yes.
How come Nancy's jaw hurts so bad? She just had a couple of wisdom teeth pulled out, and boy, it's really killing her.
Because they were probably impacted, and they have to dig very often. We have to make decisions.
Thank you.
Decisions.
I wish Nancy were here to thank you.
Tony.
Diane, too.
Number three, what is gutta-percha?
Gutta-percha is a soft filling which we use for temporary fillings after we've drilled out a cavity.
Number two, could you tell me what nerve you strike when you want to deaden the jaw of a person? With the anesthesia.
I can't give you the technical.
Number one, could you tell me what the root of the trigeminal nerve is? Where do you find the root of the trigeminal?
At the end of the trigeminal.
Very few. At what part of the face might I strike it?
I would say on the upper part of the face.
I see.
Johnny.
Number three, how many cows use false teeth?
We've kept about between 500 and 600 in various parts of the country.
No, what do they do at night? Do they leave them in a pail of water?
Oh, no. A cow has no upper anteriors.
A cow has no upper
has
anteriors?
no upper anteriors.
Oh, the poor thing.
She chews the food by the lower anteriors, pushing against this bony plate on the upper mandible.
What is bruxism?
What is what?
Bruxism.
Bruxism? Bruxism. I don't know.
Number two?
Can't tell you.
Number one?
It's a name given to a type of clothing worn on Madison Avenue. All right, we've come to the end of bruxism. Hope again. Thank you, Tom. And it's time for us to vote. So will you kindly do so, and without consultation, as usual, mark your ballots for number one, number two, or number three. All right, decisions are made more quickly this time. Tom, for whom did you vote this round?
Well, I may have made a mistake. I'm so used to taking orders that when Bud said, mark your ballots for number one, I did. And I didn't wait till he said two or three, so I'm stuck with number one. However, he did answer some great questions about dentistry, I thought. So did number three, but he's lying.
Tony, which one do you think is the real one?
Number three, because the other two gentlemen one should have said the mandibular, and the other should have known that the trigeminal ganglion or root is right here. So I'm using the ganglion.
I bet she's fun on a date.
A million laughs.
Johnny.
I voted for number one. Number three had all the answers, though, but I've got so much money tied up in my mouth that I think one is it, really. Because I didn't get him with my last question.
Betty, which one do you think is it?
We can't even trust the other members of this panel. I'm so impressed with Tony's questions, I can't see straight. But on the strength of gutta-percha, I thought that was an old Metropolitan Opera singer. I didn't even...
Oh, dear. I'll assume you know better now, anyway. Well, there we have it. Once again, the die is cast, the cavity has been drilled, the caps are in place, and let's see how right or wrong we may have been. We have 2 for 1 and 2 for 3, and let's find out now by asking the real inventor of false teeth, Dr. Ward Newcomb, to please stand up. Thank you, sir, very much. Well, the gentlemen walked off with that one. They had the 2 1s, and the ladies had the 3s. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, sir?
My name is Willis Parsons. I'm an advertising copywriter. I think a good liar.
Number 3, sir. You got an equal number of votes with the real Dr. Newcomb. What is your real name and what do you do?
My name is Hugh Fellows, and I'm assistant professor of speech at New York University, and I only stutter when I face the panel.
Well, good enough. It was fun, and we thank you.
How did you know Gutta Perchi?
How did you know Gutta Perchi? He probably had some work done in his own mouth.
My mouth's full of it.
All right. That, of course, totaling up the score, we find out that there were 2 incorrect and 2 correct. That means for the 2 incorrect, $250 each for a grand total of $500, gentlemen. And a great deal of pleasure having you with us tonight. Happy chewing to you all. And also on your way out, you'll receive a carton of Salem cigarettes. Thank you so much. Good night and good luck. Now may I introduce our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ernest Rainier.
My name is Ernest Rainier.
My name is Ernest Rainier.
Again, panel, will you follow along as I read from this affidavit? I, Captain Ernest Rainier, am a former Panama Canal pilot. A pilot has the responsibility of guiding ships of all nations and all sizes safely through the locks and waterways of the canal. I am now acting port captain of Cristobal. On occasion, I am still called upon to handle some of the larger ships. During my career, I have piloted more than 1,000 ships through the Panama Canal. Signed, Captain Ernest. Panel, you heard these 3 gentlemen all claiming to be Captain Ernest Rainier, Panama Canal pilot and supervisor of such at the moment. So let's start this round of questioning with Johnny Carson. Johnny?
Captain? Just want to see if anybody had answered.
Yes?
Captain number 1, how much does it cost to go? Is there a charge to go through the canal?
Yes, there is.
How much is the charge? Is it a standard charge?
No, sir.
Depending on the size of the ship?
Right.
Number 2, what is the length of time that it takes for a ship to complete this?
The normal tour is 8 hours. It can be done in 5.5, but normally 8 hours.
Why could you do it faster?
In emergency, we had to get through.
Number 3, what is the difference in the rise and fall? How, from one end to the other?
We have a total of 85 feet. The
85.
ship is lifted.
Betty.
Thank you, Bud. You know, they kill me when they sit down there. They all look you right in the eye like they all mean what they're saying. Number 1, when you act as pilot to these ships, where are you physically located?
On the bridge.
On the bridge of the ship going through.
Right.
Number 2, what is the largest ship you've ever taken through the canal?
An Essex class carrier.
Essex class carrier. What was the name of the ship?
The Essex.
The Essex. Number 3, do you agree with that? Was that the largest ship you ever
took New Jersey through.
Number 1, what was the largest ship you ever took through?
Offhand, I don't know.
You took a lot of ships through, that's true.
Tom.
You wouldn't, number 1, you really wouldn't know the name of the... Well, you just said that, right? Would you lie? Of course not. Why am I asking him anything? Number 1, how is the channel kept clear?
By dredging.
Number 1, maybe you can tell me, what is a binnacle? A binnacle.
I beg your pardon?
Binnacle, not rabbinical. A binnacle. A binnacle.
A binnacle.
A binnacle is the compass stand.
Something I always wanted to know. Number 2, why is a poop deck called a poop deck? What does it mean, poop deck?
Good place to hide out, the sailors, time gone by.
Toni was intrigued by that answer. Suppose you ask a question or 2.
I was intrigued about the Essex. I thought that was an old automobile. in which direction, when you're traveling from the Pacific to the Atlantic, in which direction do you travel? Number 3, please, I'm sorry.
Northwest.
And who built the canal? Number 1, who built the canal?
Well, there were several builders of the canal.
Well, who was the architect?
Well, Stevens was one of the engineers.
What, number 2, pulls the ship through the canal?
We have locomotives commonly called mules.
Thank you.
And there it is again. The point of finding out what's what as we ask you to mark your ballot. So will you kindly do so, panel? Take crayon, pencil, whatever you have in hand, and let's go with the balloting. Without consultation, vote as before for number 1.
Isn't it
For
disgraceful
number
the way
2.
they lie?
For number 3.
You got no idea how many guys I got hawking me about getting the wrong answers week after week.
Yes, I have.
You got him too, Bill.
Uh-huh.
All right, all marked. Tom, for whom?
I voted for number 1. Because I've been riding him hard enough, he ought to be nice enough to take that, too.
Toni, which one do you think is the right one this time?
Number 3, but I'm still not sure.
All right, Johnny.
I voted for number 1.
Number 1?
I went through the canal once. I didn't see you there. Day off or something, but...
And Betty, your vote.
I voted for number 3. I thought between 1 and 3, they both look like they've been looking into the sun a great deal. They have these nice, far-seeing eyes. But the 10 on number 3 sort of makes me think he's the one.
All right, there we have it again. How do we line up? Hey, just as before that one round, the 2 gentlemen are number 1. Number 3 occupies the 2 ladies' attention. Let's see what happens there as we discover now which one of these gentlemen is the real supervisor of the Panama Canal pilots. So will the real Captain Ernest Rainier please stand up? Let's face it, you fellas have proved tonight conclusively it's a man's world. There's no question about
Johnny,
it.
did you get them all tonight?
Yeah.
Johnny got them all tonight. I didn't.
You didn't? You missed on one? Oh, too bad. Well, good for you, Johnny. All right, let's find out about these others here now. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
I'm Chris Bouquet, and I'm a retired United States Marine Corps officer.
Thank you, sir. And number 3.
I'm Harold Stoughton, and I'm a personnel manager in Pearl River, New York.
With a sun.
I'm glad the girls voted for me.
Betty said it with a sun lamp. Well, you did all right. You garnered 2 of the votes, and those are the incorrect ones, and those are the ones that count. At $250 each, they count, for a total of $500, gentlemen. Hope you've had fun. We certainly enjoyed having you here, and you added to our fun and interest, and along with you, you take a carton of Salem cigarettes as well as the $500 from Salem. Thanks so much for being with us. Good night and good luck. I'd like to say to all of you people watching our show that the next 10 years are considered, in the minds of many, many people and learned people, years of crisis in our colleges and universities, but you can help. The way you can help is to write to Higher Education, Box 36, Times Square Station, New York. That's about all the time we have for tonight. Johnny, you were very successful tonight. To what do you attribute your success?
Just years of self-denial.
Tell us about last week, Johnny.
Yes, tell us about last week, Johnny.
Blew all 3 of them.
Cows and all. Well, better luck next time. If you had fun with us tonight, that's really what we're here for. We had fun being with you. Good night, panel.
Good night,
Bud.
Very nice to have had you with us.
Thank you.
Bud Collier saying good night from Salem Cigarettes and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
To Tell the Truth was pre-recorded on videotape.